Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into the global demand for remote work. And you might think you already know the story, but trust me, the real drivers go way deeper than just wanting to skip the commute.
Okay, so let's start with a number that honestly seems to explain everything. A staggering 91% of employees all around the world say they'd prefer to work remotely or in some kind of hybrid model. I mean, that's not just a preference, that's a landslide. But here's the twist. If this was just about keeping employees happy, you'd expect a slow, gradual shift. The reality, the corporate hunt for remote talent is incredibly urgent. And as we're going to show you in this explainer, that urgency is being driven by some pretty powerful economic forces, not just what people want.
To really get what's going on, we first have to tackle this really weird contradiction that sits at the heart of the whole remote work debate. It's a real head-scratcher that a lot of companies are trying to figure out.
This is where things get, well, strange. On the one hand, studies show that remote workers can be up to 16% more productive every single week. But on the other hand, they're 31% less likely to get a promotion and face a 35% higher risk of getting laid off. So, you're more productive, but you're less secure? How does that even make sense? Yeah, there's actually a name for this. Experts call it the productivity paradox. It's this total disconnect where your individual output is great, but your career hits a wall. And this right here, this is proof that the corporate rush for remote talent isn't just some simple search for more productivity. There is a much, much bigger game being played.
So if this mad dash for remote talent isn't just about getting more work done, then what is it about? What's really creating this desperate global search for people who can work from literally anywhere?
The answer is a perfect storm. It's not just one thing, but three huge, powerful forces hitting the global economy all at once. And they're forcing companies to basically throw out their old hiring playbooks and look for talent wherever they can possibly find it. Let's break them down.
First up, you've got a massive economy-wide skills gap. I mean, just look at these numbers. In supercritical sectors like healthcare, IT, and logistics, more than 3/4 of all employers are saying we just can't find people with the skills we need. The local talent pools are simply running dry.
Second, we have what's being called AI-driven skill churn. Artificial intelligence is moving so fast that it's on track to redefine almost a quarter of all jobs in just the next few years. The skills that were valuable yesterday are becoming obsolete, and companies are scrambling to find people who can handle the jobs of tomorrow, which are basically arriving today.
And third, there's the cybersecurity mandate. You can't have a massive remote workforce without being secure, right? But the talent needed to lock down those networks is incredibly scarce. This isn't just a hurdle. It's a critical bottleneck. Without these experts, the whole remote revolution could grind to a halt.
So all these forces are painting a really clear picture of which industries are at the absolute epicenter of this talent earthquake. Let's take a look at where, specifically, this demand is just exploding. Unsurprisingly, the demand is hottest in what we can call the digital core industries. Computer and IT is number one, of course. Fully remote job listings have literally doubled. But you also see a ton of demand in project management, sales, and even support roles within healthcare. The common thread here? It's all work that's based on information, and that can be done from anywhere with a good internet connection. And it's not just what jobs, but who companies are hunting for. This is so telling. The demand isn't spread out evenly. Almost 70% of these remote jobs are targeting experienced professionals. The thinking is pretty clear. Seasoned pros can hit the ground running with a lot less direct supervision, which is a huge advantage when your boss isn't just down the hall.
So, you've got this perfect storm of forces creating a desperate need for experienced, digital-savvy talent. So what does this all mean for how companies actually attract these people? And, how should you think about your own value in this crazy new market?
It means we have to completely rethink the entire idea of a paycheck. A big salary, and sure, a senior software engineer can pull in 130 grand. That's only part of the equation now. On the other side, you have the total value. For so many employees, the flexibility of working from home is so valuable it feels like getting an 8% raise. Then you add the nearly $7,000 a year you save on stuff like gas, parking, and lunches. And suddenly, the total package is so much more than just the number on a payslip. This all boils down to one major takeaway. We've entered a brand new era. The global hunt for talent is no longer just a bidding war over who can pay the most. It's a competition to offer a fundamentally better, more flexible, and more trusting way to work. And that leaves one final question. In a world being reshaped by skill gaps and AI, is that a competition your organization is actually prepared to win?